Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Alconin. Welcome to Pre-Market Info. Had a little technical difficulties with the Thinkorswim chats today getting Dennis on, so hopefully we can get back to you tomorrow. But Dennis, S&P's inching up towards that $1,600 level again.
S&P futures climbing up here. We were building on yesterday's rally a little bit here, 8 points. Nothing to get too excited about, but it is a rally.
I'm looking at the 5-day high of 1597 and a quarter. Be a little bit of resistance ahead of that $1,600 level. Coming back on the downside, you did have a double top at 1586 and a quarter to 87.75. So let's call support 1587.
But there's not everything is rallying today. I will tell you, gold, silver annihilated again here today. We've got the gold trading down 40 more dollars here, 41.80 trading down right now. Just been an incredible 2 weeks for gold, because 2 weeks ago this was up at 1400. It's now trading down at 1233, the futures, that is. We are just annihilated here on gold once again. If you were going in gold looking for defense, you got killed.
And really, and this move's taking place on no news at all. I mean, it's just an overnight flogging in the gold market. Let's just take a look at the short-term trading here. We did make a low early in the session here, early this morning at 1223.20. So below that, I guess we could say hello to 1200. I don't know if we're going to quite get there today. Coming back on the upside, there was some minor intraday resistance at 1235. We've taken that out a little bit, but that's just a light number on the upside.
It just seems like every time it rallies, more sellers come in. There's so many people caught long gold. They were playing it for defense, and they're realizing that they played the wrong. They were playing the wrong defense, because this has been killed more than anything else. Market goes down, gold goes down. Market goes up, gold goes down. It's just been the path of least resistance has continued to be down. You were citing a level where you think we could bounce. We are due for a short-term bounce. There's no doubt about it. But who knows when that is? Long term, I still don't like gold. Short term, we went down here basically 200 points in the last 2 weeks. So, and that's what it did before. If we looked, we went from the 1550 to 1350, then we consolidated for a while, and then we bounced right up to 1400. Now we went from 1400 down to 1233. It looks like we might even get down to 1200. You were looking at a couple of lows back in July of
Yeah.
2010. What were those numbers, Joel?
This is just on the front month rolling contract of the COMEX futures. You had a low in July of 2010 at 1191.30. August of that same year, 1210.10. You got a nice round number like 1200 there. So that could be the next target on the downside if you're looking to cover some shorts or perhaps try along in this treacherous market, but seems to have 1200 on the radar here over the next couple days.
Just looking at that chart that you've got up there, we've got a 5-year chart of the gold futures up there, and we were back in July of 2008 down below $800 an ounce. Obviously, in the last 2 or 3 years with the whole defense trade, gold went from 850 to 19. What was the high there? Over $1,900 an ounce, anyways.
Yeah, 1949.70 on the front month contract.
Now we've pulled back further than the 50% retracement, and I'm just looking, and we've basically got quite a bit of area. You have some stopping points, but it was a big run from 2009 and 2010 from the 850. I don't think, now I'm not saying gold's going back to 850 here tomorrow. I'm just saying don't be surprised if the weakness in gold can continue just because it falls $200. I'd imagine eventually we will get a tradable bounce, but I think that's all it is. I think you've got this whole trade here going on, this fleeing out of this defensive sector. People are scared. You got grandma saying, I want to beat in defensive stuff, gold, I don't want to lose my money. And now she's realizing I'm losing more money than anything in this. And people are just scared and they're liquidating. So it is a little bit of capitulation right now, but I think you might get a short-term bottom, but long-term, there's still a lot of air.
Right. And, you were discussing, earlier in the show, good old stock that we always like to beat up, like Alcoa. I mean, remember the $45 stock, back in August of April of 2008, and then
Aluminum prices
aluminum
started to
prices
fall.
hit the skids,
Yep.
unproductive mines shutting their mines, laying off of employees. I mean that what could be down the road for these gold companies because they're bringing all these mines onto production here that they were predicated on gold being at 13, 14, $1,500. Now they're coming online and they're going to have to close these things and take huge write downs.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is basically as gold climbed, it became it became okay to go find gold in these remote areas and produce it. And the cost of production for all these miners climbed. Barrick used to make money when gold was $400 an ounce. It's not going to make money. I think the cost of production is approaching $1,000 an ounce. So, and as the stock continues to trade down, it's telling me that gold is probably going to stay down here for a bit, or at least possibly even go lower, because a lot of these miners here have just been annihilated. So don't think, just because Barrick's at 15.50 here this morning, and it's down another 60 cents, that, oh, this is a great value and it's going to be back at $40. It's not going to, if you look at that chart of Alcoa, and when it went from 45 to 8, or to 45 to 5, it's back at $8 5 years later. So if you bought it at 5, I guess you're happy. But if you bought it at 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, all the way down in July of 2008, you were dead wrong, and you basically never got your money back. Maybe a little bit of a rally in there in 2010, 2011. But right now it's right back down at those lows. And that could be the same thing with these miners. It could actually, these stocks could stay down here for a long time if gold doesn't rebound.
You talk about dead money. I mean, this stock was trading at 845 back in October of 2011, and here we are, June of 2013, trading at 792. I
Alcoa's
mean,
just
it just,
flatlined.
yeah, believe it or not, it looks like this stock is just ready for another breakdown, back down to the $5 level.
Yeah, it's very hard for a stock to go from, like, if stock obviously falls from 45 to 8 or 45 to 5, it's hard that stock to go back from 5 to 45 has to increase like 800%. So it's very difficult for stocks to do that. So as they fall, it's very difficult for them to just come all the way back and rebound. And that's my concern with the miners, and that's my concern with the Barracks, with the Gold Corps, with the NEMs, is that long term here it's going to be very difficult climb for these things. And they'll rally, they'll have bounces, they'll rally 10%, 15%, they'll rally dollar or two. But I don't think at all that Barrick Gold is going to be a $30 stock here next year. I would not be surprised if this stock is on the road to single digits long term. And that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean, unless it doesn't look like the government's going to, they're talking about, tapering now. It doesn't look like they're going to turn around on a dime and, start the QE again. And that was really the impetus for the gold rally. So, man, with all this bearish gold talk, it makes me feel like I need to go out there and get long.
I know. It is due for a bounce. Like we're telling you here, we have fallen basically 160, 170 points in the gold futures in 2 weeks. It's overdone for sure short term. We're going to have a vicious rally, a short squeeze. But that's what it is. That'll be your tradable area. So right now, I would not want to short it down here. It's just come down too far too fast. I'm just saying picking bottoms here is dangerous too. Sit back, wait for a tradable bounce, and that's what I'll be waiting for, is a tradable bounce and then looking to initiate a short position. So I'm still inclined to short this. I just don't want to short it when it's down this much. I need a bounce. And that eventually you will get a little bit of a bounce here, a tradable bounce. But if you're long, that might be the opportunity to lighten up. That might be the opportunity if you're looking to get short some of these miners and stuff. If they do, in fact, over the next couple of years, make a run for single digits, which I think they could. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I don't know anything, but I'm just saying Alcoa. I watched Alcoa do it when aluminum prices started to fall, and it's reminding me of that whole move in Alcoa was what these miners are looking like. Joel, let's move away from the gold and the silver for a little bit because we're scaring the hell out of all our listeners here. The crude's actually trading up here again, $96. Crude looks okay.
Right, finally got the right chart up there. Getting a little bit of a bounce here. Had a couple day sell off with the market here. Looking at the intraday chart here, trying to get my bearings here. Getting a little bit of pop, finding some mild intraday resistance here at the 95.20 level. Major resistance stands above yesterday. We have yesterday's high at 96.17. We're still a buck away from there. Good support developing though in the lower 94s. 94.27 was low today, so you got a nice bounce off that level.
I just want to talk briefly about ExxonMobil here, if you just talked about the oils, because ExxonMobil is rallying a little bit here again this morning. But remember the number that we've talked about for the last, I feel like the whole year. What is the number on ExxonMobil, Joe? The number.
90.
It has been $90. In February, we topped out multiple times at 90. In March, we topped out multiple times at 90. In April, we had a bump up where we got up just under 90. We eventually did break out in May and then came back and found support at 90. We broke below 90 recently. We are rallying up. Where do you think we're rallying to? I think we're rallying to 90. So 90 is
Yeah,
the
you
number.
gotta.
We're 50 cents below there right now. I think you'll find major resistance there on ExxonMobil. It's a big
Yeah,
number.
just a little bit shorter term. You are opening into a double top here from Monday and Tuesday. 89.50 was the high on Monday. 89.62 was the high yesterday. Not sure if we've been able to clear that. Yeah, in the pre-market, we've got a high 89.68. So up 40 cent, opening up into resistance. You probably can't see that far in the book to see what's kicking around there at 90. But you do have a 3-day high at 90.14. So into resistance here. Let's see if it can take it out today with the spoos trading up 9.
Let's move on to a couple of the earnings plays. Last night, Apollo APOL, the Educational Institute, there reported earnings at $1.05 versus 85 cents. They actually missed on revenue though, 946 million versus 965. So they beat on the bottom line, but missed on the top line, and that is concerning to shareholders here because the stock is trading down 92 cents here in the pre-market at 1846.
We are taking a look at the pre-market low, 1798. That was actually the after-hours low. You've gotten a nice bounce up that, just recently hitting 1890. So even though it's down a buck, it was down $2. Looking at the daily here, you did find some support at the $18 level. 1793 was the low on May 9th. So keep an eye if you get back towards 18. You see some support on that. In order to sneak back into yesterday's range, you got to get back up to 1917, but you probably run into trouble before that at 19, which is 50 cents away.
A couple other ones reporting earnings. Monsanto just reported earnings. $1.66 versus $1.61, so they did beat. Not good enough. Stocks trading down about 50 cents here at $100.92. Very light volume though. Only some spotty trades really going off here in the pre-market. So hard to say if this is going to open up or down when 9:30 rolls around in an hour. But let's find. What do you got for numbers there on Monsanto, Joel?
Someone got really excited. Took this up to 104.50.
News algo
Yeah,
again. That's got to be
yeah,
done.
I'll
I'm going to
go.
look at the tape.
Alvin go.
Yeah.
Yeah, 104.50. We pulled back here. Let's get a better look at this from the daily chart. You did have a low at 100.49 on Monday. I would use that as your bogey here on the downside because if you take that 100.49 out, you getting a slippery slope here down to 99.53. When you see these kind of areas like this in stocks, as they rip up through them, if they get the downward momentum going, the same thing could happen. Coming back on the upside, you had two closes, 101.40, 101.70 within 30 cents. So call 101.55 to be your first resistance point if Monsanto can rally.
Here's an interesting chart. GIS. They reported earnings in line, 53 versus 53. Stocks trading down 30 cents of 48 bucks. But look at those three lows there, Joel.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they were in line, obviously. Not to someone's liking here. We've taken it down just under 48 in the pre-market, 47.96. Not a huge move for this stock, but I really like to see it hold the $48 level. If it doesn't hold that, we start to sneak into the 47 handle. Couple lows at 47.72 to 47.79. If you get
We
back into
have
the rally mode.
the third and final reading for Q1 GDP just out, coming in at up 1.8%. This is a miss. Economists were looking for a gain of 2.4%. Also just out was personal consumption. That comes in at up 2.6%. Economists were looking for a gain of 3.4%.
And
Thanks,
futures
Brent.
selling off. Thanks, Brent. Futures selling off about a buck on that, chopping around a little bit here, digesting the news. We were trading up at 1591 right before that number came out. We're now at 1589.5, so a slight little sell-off here just after that number, but nothing
Yeah,
major.
no, Dennis, I'd just like to make one note here, just regarding, the S&Ps and the pre-market trading. Yesterday, I know you were out yesterday, but we were trading up real nicely in the pre-market, and we made a new high by the overnight high, or I missed it by one tick, and then that was the impetus for a pretty good sell-off. So now that we're $3 away from that 1591.75 area, just more significance added to that if we sneak back anywhere near that area. Could have the high of the day already in.
Let's move on to the upgrades and downgrades. There's quite a few here today. Interesting enough, Barrick Gold getting downgraded at Credit Suisse. Thanks for that downgrade. Credit Suisse a little late to the party. Price target 20. I'll tell you right now, I don't think Credit Suisse getting to 20 here by the end of the year or so. And 20 has all kinds of resistance up there too. No, not sorry, Credit Suisse. I don't think Barrick Gold's getting to 20 by the end of the year. So down to 15.55. If I got to 20, I think it's got a lower price target in my opinion. But Credit Suisse downgrading them today. You've also got, we've already talked about that. You've also got KeyBank getting upgraded at BMO here. Key actually, KEY, trading up about 25 cents here. This is interesting because it's coming into some major resistance. KeyBank has had multiple tops just over 11 bucks here, and we're coming right into that area here this morning.
Yeah, hit 11 a few times here in the pre-market. And you look at this little high sticking out here on June 10th at 1106. So there you have some targets on the upside. I'm not sure how much stock is kicking around in the book there. If you come back to the 1075 level, that was yesterday's high and the close. That should act as pretty good support. Looking longer term here, the stock after just getting whooped in the financial crisis has just been making just a slow
steady climb.
rounding bottom. I don't know how excited you can get about this stock, but trading at 1106 has been the highest level. First time it's been back even near 11 since November 2008. So I'd like to see it get it settle over that $11 level. Maybe you could get a little bit excited about this stock.
Mosaic getting downgraded at Citigroup MOS, stock trading down about 90 cents in the pre-market on that downgrade. $55 it just ticked to, close to 55.91. 2 days ago we had a low at 54.74. Is that where we're heading, Joel?
Guess what the low in the pre-market is?
What's the low?
54.75.
So that's right there. These lows, these levels sometimes work, man. And like we've talked before, sometimes it's even institutions got algos there sitting there buying them at levels. Not always, and sometimes there's technical formations, but you find those lows, and that's the low basically for the year, I believe. There, it's going to be some significance there.
We've actually, let's see, we look going back. Yep, it is trading on the lows of the year, 54.74. Next major level under that, still a couple bucks away, but December 2012 you had a low at 52.65. Not sure if it has the momentum to get there today, but stock's in trouble.
We're running a little bit long, so I'm just going to fly through a couple of these other upgrades and downgrades just to let you know about them. LUV, which is Southwest Airlines, getting downgraded at Morgan Stanley. You've also got EAT, which is Brinker International, getting downgraded at Morgan Stanley. You've got DISH, DISH, getting upgraded at JP Morgan. You've got MGM casino stocks getting upgraded at Namira. Maybe we'll stick with the casino stocks for a second because you've also got the Las Vegas Sands announcing that their CEO is leaving. So you got LVS trading up here in the pre-market. You got MGM also trading up here in the pre-market.
Just taking a look at the MGM chart here on that upgrade. The initial spike took it to 14.49. But seemed to be settling in at the 14 and a quarter level here. That coincides with the high that you had on the 21st here, 14.25. So you are opening up into some resistance here. Above that, you have a little room on the upside up to 14.80, but that'd be a pretty big move, just off one upgrade.
Morgan Stanley bearish these auto parts too. They're downgrading Advanced Auto Parts, which is AAP. They are also downgrading O'Reilly Automotive, which is ORLY. AutoZone trading down a little bit in sympathy as well. It's down 50 cents, which is AZO. So AAP, ORLY downgraded Morgan Stanley.
I think some shorts are licking their chops here at this 110 level. That's just been holding up
That's
here
right where it's at.
for the better part of June. That's where it's trading. Pre-market, that's where it's holding. So for you guys with the appetite to trade these $100 stocks here, O'Reilly Auto Parts is still a $100 stock, but below 110 here. Not a lot to lean on here until you get to the 107.80 and 107.84 level. Those are the lows on June 5th and June 6th.
Let's go back to the S&P futures here. We're just ticked back up to those highs, Joel, 1591. So it's trying to get up there and make new highs. Do you think yesterday's rally can follow through despite the big sell-off in gold?
I would sure like it to. I got a couple calls in my portfolio, which is very unusual for me. But you just got to figure that, the 1597 and a quarter, that was your 5-day high. And then, you got a lot of people saying, man, if we get back into that 1600 handle, you're going to find some resistance there. But still sticking with the rally mode here, unless we break below the double bottom from Monday and Tuesday at 1587.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading day, and we will be back at you tomorrow.